right? So sometimes it's for good, sometimes it is really bad, right? So that depends how we are using internet for our different tasks in our life. Let's see. So these are some of the, there are many, right? So if you, we can list out a very long list, right? So these are some of the things which I thought that these are information, these are very important for us, for even our day-to-day activities as well as for our academic as the librarians. So what are the things we can use? So these are some of the internet services available and internet services which we are using frequently, right? So World Wide Web, communication services, file transfer services, remote terminal access services, cloud-based internet services, social media and networking services, internet services for academic and research activities actually, right? So e-commerce, AI powered internet services, multimedia and streaming services, online education and learning services, big data and analytics services. Now, when we talk about these different kind of services, so you should be able to explain each of these services how we are going to use at the library, not day to day what we are doing normally, right? So you should combine how these services can be used or can be applied at the library environment, right? So I am not going to ask you explain the World Wide Web or something. It will be a question how World Wide Web will be explained, how World Wide Web can be used at the library environment. That kind of things you should think logically how these different kind of services can be applied at the library environment. So let's take first one, the World Wide Web. Everybody knows, and already we have discussed some parts. At some point, we discussed about www. Right? The World Wide Web is an internet-based services that enables users to access vast collection of information and resources through interconnected documents and websites around the world. Right, so already, so I told you that so if we can divide internet into different parts, www is a one part of that. Remember, even last time I explained you, right? So some people will confusing. So they think World Wide Web is the internet. World Wide Web equal to internet. No, that is not. Internet has different parts, right? Internet has different parts. World Wide Web is one part of that. There are other parts uh, in the internet. When you talk about the internet, it is not every time all the things are not www. Right? So World Wide Web means the part of the web pages. It consider World Wide Web consider the part of web pages available in the internet. Right? A large collection of electronic documents and resources stored on computers connected to the internet. So different computers which are stored different type of web pages are interconnected. That is www. Sir Tim Berners-Lee is recognized as the inventor of the World Wide Web, right? www users can access website using always to access websites. We need a web browser, right? So different type of web browsers are available, right? Maybe Microsoft Mozilla, Mozilla Firefox or Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, Opera, whatever. So anyhow, we need a browser to access web, right? Website consists of multiple web pages containing text, images, videos, multimedia, hyperlinks. So websites contain different things. It has text, it has videos, it has audios, it has images, or some hyperlinks to open a new web page. That's all those things are there in the website. So we talk about how these things happening, how you can open a website. So first you need to open your browser. Then in the URL cage you need to type your URL. Then it will be forwarded to the particular server which that particular website is hosted. But how to identify the path? So we discussed last time how using those undersea cable and all those things, our message is going to somewhere in the world, right? Which this particular website is available. Then that particular server will be identified. Okay, a person from the Sri Lanka has sent a request for me to get the website, so that request will be processed at the server side somewhere in the world, maybe in some other countries, right? Maybe in Europe, America, UK, where else, whatever, right? Then it will send the website to your computer. Then in your browser that particular website will be opened. So that is how this is going to work, right? So we discuss about the part of the URL, right? So I'm not going to talk about again. So this is, it has a protocol, domain name, subdomain and domain name, right? And the path, file name. What are the benefits? There are many, right? There are many benefits. Access to the vast of information, save time and effort, right? So definitely, right? So suppose if we are going to come to the library to find out the information, so to get the book, so we need to come to the library, right? So so if the library is too far away, so we had to take long time, long distance, we have to travel. So lot of things are there. But if you are using to internet for to get the information, we can get the information from anytime. We don't need to move, right? Just sitting on the computer, you can get the information, and it save time, facilitate communication and collaboration. So we can collaborate with the others, support education, research and learning, supports business, commerce and online services, encourage innovation and knowledge sharing. So all those benefits are there from the World Wide Web. That is first one. Second one is communication. So this is the most popular uh, service of the internet at the moment among the people, right? So, communication. Many people use the internet for this communication part, right? There are other advantages, but many people use the internet for a just for a communication, right? Communication services on the internet enable people to share information, connect, and collaborate in real time from anywhere in the world. So now connecting with the people who are in different areas is not much difficult. But sometimes back, maybe 20 years, 25 years back, so it's very difficult. But even not in the foreign countries, even in the countries, even within the countries, it is very difficult to communicate with the people because the telephone, even the telephone, not the internet, right? So even the telephone is not very common. in the country. Everybody did not have telephones, even not the mobile phone, even the land phones, not very popular. Each and every houses did not have phones, right? So normally on those days, the popular media to communicate with the people, either postcard or the letters, right? Not instant collaboration. So when you send a letter to some person, so it takes several days to reach to that person. Then if that person is sending a reply, again it takes some several days, almost maybe one week or more it takes to communicate the information uh, two ways. Right? Very rarely some houses had the telephones. So many people got the call through the post office. Right? Telephone was not uh, popular among those days. The mobile phones, not at all. But with the development of technology, with the development of internet, now this communication become a very easy way, right? Now most of the people is having their own digital devices. Everybody, right? Even the older people, even the young people is having some kind of uh, digital device on their hand. Through that digital device, they were able to connect with the people, even far away people, not only within the country, even the other countries like foreign countries like UK, US, America, Australia, anywhere in the world. Very instantly, if you want to connect with those people right now, you can do it. Right? There are different kind of services available, different kind of softwares are available to connect with the people, right? So now internet is using for these communication services heavily, right? So one of the most popular communication service is email, right? Today people are using different kind of emails which provide by different kind of softwares. Gmail, Microsoft Outlook, Yahoo Mail, um, or maybe other different type of mails are there, right? Different type of mails, or sometimes some your office emails, right? Your organization has created an email services and you are using. Anyhow, these emails are very popular. Very quickly, instantly, you can send the messages for a person you need to send the message. With that email, you can send images, audio, video, anything, right? So then you have to think how you are going to cooperate this email with library service, right? How? Anybody can answer. Can anybody answer? If I ask you a question, how this email can be incorporated with the library services? What is your answer? Should be any example? Anybody can provide? Are you using email in your library services? In your libraries? Who can answer? Okay. Okay, that is one way. Okay, library staff can share the information. Okay, so how you can cater with your users, patrons. Okay. Okay, that is something. Anybody who is using emails to communicate with the users? Come on. Now look at this. Now, if the people are asking, suppose one of the user is requesting a research paper, right? He is requesting a research paper from the library. Earlier, how we did sometimes back, right? So if that paper is a hard copy is one, right? What we in my time when I entered the university, right? So when I was studying as a student at the university, so what we had was, so if we request something from the library, they photocopied and gave the papers, right? So that is how it as a student what I got. But these days, how we are doing? I will still giving the photocopies. Sometimes yes, but you have other ways of doing that. So rather than sending the photocopies to the user, so you can just scan or you can get the photos of the particular article and you can send the soft copy of those article as through an email to the user, isn't it? Can't you do that? Now in our library, so we are using a system, library system. Through that system, we are sending emails to the users sometimes. So when the students has borrowed the books and the overdue is very close, we are sending a reminder to him. So your overdue is from 2 days from now, right? Then when it is become overdue, we are sending the reminders. Your book is overdue. Please return the book. When that particular, suppose he has put a reservation, when that book come to the library, again we are sending an email to that person. Okay, your reserved book has come to the library. Please come and collect it. All those things going through the emails, right? All through those things going through the email. So you should. That is what I told you. You should be able to give examples from the library side. How emails are going to incorporate with the library. The person who told the early one, even yes, so suppose you can create the groups, student groups, right? When a new arrival come to the library, so you can email to the that email group indicating, okay, these are the new arrivals from this week. We are doing the same. We are having a email group. When so each week we are sending to that group uh, uh, explaining, displaying these are the new arrival for this week. That is how we are going to use emails at the library. Then instant messages. This is again very popular among the people. So very instantly you can send the messages from for the people you need to send the messages. Not like emails, right? So you can identify whether that message has been delivered to that particular person and whether he has read the message. Even I mean, in the email, we cannot see that part. We can send the message. We don't know whether that person, whether the email was reached to that person, even the reach. So whether that person has read the email. But in the messaging services, we can identify whether that message has delivered to the correct person and also that whether that person has been uh, read that one. So this is a very uh, popular always now these days. right? So young generation is using this one every time they are typing, right? Typing and typing. Real time interaction is there. That is why this is most popular, right? Not like my days, my early days, like not like communicating through the mails, right? So real time, even so, if you can take the video call, so you can see the person. You can see the person. Then next one is video conferencing, what we are doing right now, right? So there are different kind of team, different kind of uh, softwares to conduct this. These things, these communication services become, especially this video conferencing and all, became very popular after 2020 with the COVID pandemic situation. So people had to stay at home. So even before that, these Zoom and Teams, Google Meet was there, right? I remember Google Meet was there, but even myself have never used it. So we didn't want to use. There was no such environment, so it was not popular in Sri Lanka. Right? Very few people may be using, but not even 1%. But after the COVID pandemic situation, so everybody wants to use this because people had to stay at home, but then there were problem doing their jobs, doing the studies of the students, school and universities. So then the people need to find a mechanism. Then these were came into the situation and provide lot of benefits for the everybody, right? After that, so before pandemic, so before COVID, we had to conduct the lectures at nearly physical. Now after pandemic, even after the 6 years later, still we are doing online, right? So personally, I do not like do the lectures online. So it was very less. It has a very ineffective. It is a very ineffective way. In Sri Lanka, this online education is really, really ineffective. Right? I can't see you. I can't see your faces. I am not sure whether you are listening to me or not. Right? So whether you can understood what I said. No, no, no direct contact with you. I'm just speaking and speaking. I'm speaking and speaking. Maybe you may be listening. Maybe sometimes may not. Whatever. So there are a lot of this communication and the video conferencing softwares available. So at the moment we are using Zoom, even Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, all those things are there, right? So what are the benefits? Connect with anyone, anywhere in the world. Instantly, you can connect with any person in the world. Save time and increase productivity. Definitely, right? You don't need to move. Suppose you need to in your business or something, business conference or something, business meeting. So before these came into the society, so you had to travel, right? Lot of expenses are there, but with this technology, you don't need to travel. You can have a Zoom meeting. Everybody in different parts of the world can join to that, and you can take the decision, right? Save time and increase productivity. Enhance collaboration and teamwork. Definitely, right? So everybody can talk. Not like this. The way we are doing online teaching is very bad. So it should open every. It should suppose. If I can, if your video is on, if I am also going to open my video, so everybody can see us, right? But with the different kind of devices we have, with the different type of internet connection we have, we cannot do that, right? Some people has very weak internet connection and some people have no proper digital devices. Therefore, but actual way of doing this, so everybody need to open the video and then each people can see. Right? I'm not sure whether you all group are knowing each other. Have you met? Right? But actually, we can do in a collaborative way. Right? Share information quickly and securely. So you can send the information within 1 second. You don't need to wait. Right? Cost effective and convenient. Definitely. That is why now Nilis is conducting lectures online. Cost effective. Right? So if the students were asking to come to the Nilis on each Sunday, right? So many people will not going to do that because now the traveling is a problem. The time and also the money. Coming from too far away areas like Hambantota, Ambilipitiya, Batiklo, Jaffna, Ampara. So it's lot of money, right? It is lot of money. So coming each week, so it's lot of money. Cost effective. Therefore, they are conducting online whether it is less effective. Next one is file transfer services. Actually, internet was evolved for these file transfer services. People want to share, transfer files from one computer to another. At that time, through the internet, right? So people want to transfer some files from one computer to another through the internet, through the networks. That is what we call as the file transfer services. Right? So there are two ways of doing this. FTP is file transfer protocol. Other one is SFTP, secure shell file transfer protocol. Right? Both doing transfer from one computer, transfer files from one computer to another. Right? So most secured mechanism is SFTP, secure shell file transfer protocol. Right? Normally, suppose some people like you are developing your website in your computer. Then you want to transfer your the developed files of the website to the server. So you can use this kind of mechanism. So there is a video I found from the internet. This explains clearly what this FTP and SFTP is doing. Right? Let's watch this one.
Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about FTP, SFTP, and TFTP. And these are protocols that are used to transfer files over a network. So let's talk about FTP first. Now FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and this is a standard protocol that is used to transfer files between computers and servers over a network such as the Internet. So in a nutshell, FTP is the language that computers use to transfer files over a TCP IP network. So for example, if someone anywhere in the world wanted to make their files available for other people to download, all they would have to do is simply upload their files to the FTP server, and then other people from anywhere in the world can simply connect to that FTP server and download the files using the FTP protocol. Now in this example, this person is using a dedicated FTP server to share their files. But they don't necessarily have to set up a dedicated server for an FTP, because if they really wanted to, they can also configure their own computer to act as a FTP server. For example, in Microsoft Windows, this can be done using the Internet Information Services Manager. Now there are a couple of ways to transfer files using FTP. You can use your standard internet browser, or you can use an FTP client. So as an example, let's download some MP3 files that someone has put on an FTP server. So let's use a standard internet browser in this example. So you would open up a web browser, and then you would type in the address of the FTP server that you want to connect to, just as if you were going to a regular website. So the web address of this FTP server is ftp.example.com. So you would type that address as the URL. Now normally, if you were going to a regular website, the prefix would be HTTP. But since we are going to an FTP site, the prefix is FTP. So now we're connected to the FTP server. So here is an example of an FTP server view in a web browser. And from here you can browse different folders that's on the FTP server, depending on what the owner has made available, and then you can view and download what you want. So here are the MP3 files, and then you can just click the files and then download them to your computer. Now sometimes FTP servers will require an account with a username and password, and sometimes you can just log in anonymously. It just depends on what type of authentication that the owner of the FTP server has set up. And another way that you can connect to an FTP server is by using an FTP client. Now there are a number of FTP clients that you can use, but probably the most popular free FTP client is called FileZilla, which you can download for free. So here is an example of an FTP client. And as you can tell, using an FTP client provides a graphical user interface and a better overall experience than using a web browser. So up here is where you would provide the address of the FTP server, along with the username and password if required, and the port number, which would be port 21. And then you would just hit the connect button, and now we're connected to the FTP server. So over here on the left pane, you have the files and folders on your local computer. And then over here on the right pane, you have a view of the files and folders that's on the remote FTP server. And then from here, you can just click or drag and drop files from the FTP server, such as these MP3 files, and then download them to your computer just by clicking on them or dragging them over from the right pane to the left pane. And if you have the proper permissions, you can also upload files from your computer to the FTP server by dragging them from the left pane to the right pane, and then the files will be uploaded to the FTP server. So transferring files between computers is a common use of using FTP, especially when you're transferring files in bulk. And another common use of using FTP is to give the ability of website designers to upload files to their web servers. Now the main drawback of using FTP is that it's not a secure protocol, so the data that's being transferred is not encrypted. All the data is sent in clear text, which can cause security concerns. So really, FTP should only be used on a limited basis or on only trustworthy networks, or if the data that's being transferred is not sensitive. However, if you're going to transfer data that needs to be protected, a more secure transfer protocol should be used. And that's where SFTP comes in. SFTP stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. Now, Secure FTP is just like FTP, except that it adds a layer of security. The data using Secure FTP is actually encrypted using Secure Shell during data transfer. So no data is sent in clear text. It's all encrypted. And Secure FTP authenticates both the user and the server, and it uses port 22. It's also important to note that both FTP and Secure FTP are connection-oriented protocols that use TCP for file transfer, so they guarantee file delivery. And finally, there's TFTP. TFTP stands for Trivial File Transfer Protocol. Now this is a very simple file transfer protocol. It is not used to transfer files over the internet like FTP and Secure FTP does. It's mainly used for transferring files within a local area network. For example, it's often used to transfer configuration files and firmware images to network devices, such as firewalls and routers. So TFTP is something that most people will never use. And unlike FTP and Secure FTP that uses the TCP protocol for file transfer, TFTP is a connectionless protocol that uses UDP instead. And because it uses UDP instead of TCP, it's an unreliable transfer protocol. And if you're not familiar with TCP and UDP, I will link my video at the end of this lesson that explains the difference between the TCP and UDP protocols. And finally, TFTP does not provide any security during the transfer. And not that it needs to, because as I said before, it's only used on a local area network and not over the internet.
Right. Next type of service is remote terminal access services. Now in the FTP and SFTP, you were able to do just file transfer only, right? But the remote terminal access services, with the terminal access, you can do some modifications, some changes, some work in the neighboring computer. You can access to some other computers, right? So you can do some work by using your computer. Suppose now you are at the home today, right? So, but your office is still working somewhere far away. You are the IT person in the office. Now there is a problem in your server, library system, right? So, but the people at the library, so they need to use the system to issue the book and all. So there's a problem. So what you can do? Either you have to go there, that is one option. But if you are in too far away, within few minutes you cannot go there. So then what? Either you have to close the library for entire day, or you have to issue the books manually. That is one option. Or you can try to solve the problem in the server without going to the library from your home, right? How? So if you have this kind of uh, remote terminal access services, either Telnet or SSH, service. So you can access the server computer in your library from your home computer, right? So when you have the access, you can see the screen of you can enter to the server computer. So then you can identify where the problem is. You can identify where the problem is. So you can troubleshoot that, right? You can troubleshoot that. So from your home, you can resolve the problem. Suppose you have some kind of software purchased from some person from the India or somewhere else. So you have a problem. Now you need to have the answers for that problem, right? So rather than coming those from people from the India or somewhere, if they can log into your system from their home, so still they can solve the problem. It is happening, right? This kind of services we call as the remote terminal access. Remember, in the FTP you were able to only to transfer the file, but here you can access the computer. So this is the advantage of this, but there are some disadvantages as well. Suppose without your awareness, some people may have installed this kind of software and they are looking at your screen. Sometimes we are getting some different unknown link and all. We just click those things and to see what is there. So when you click without your awareness, so those kind of software can be installed in your computer. Then outside people will have a mechanism to see what you are doing, right? To see what you are doing. So the danger is, suppose you are all those things, they can change your files, they can alter your files, they can delete your file. That is something. And also they can steal some very secret information from your computer, right? Some images, some photographs, some secret official document, valuable document, they can steal. Also, they can look at your, by looking at your screen. So suppose when you are transferring some money through online, so they can find out your username and passwords, your account names, account numbers. That is one danger part, right? So all these things are there: Telnet and Secure Shell, right? Remote terminal access services. So again, there is a video. Watch that one, so you will realize what I am saying.
What is Telnet? So that is the topic of this video. Now, Telnet is a terminal emulation program that is used to access remote servers. It's a simple command line tool that runs on your computer, and it'll allow you to send commands remotely to a server and administer that server just as if you were sitting in front of it. So when you connect remotely to a server using Telnet, you would just use commands with a keyboard to tell that server what to do. So you can use those commands to run programs, create folders, delete files, create files, transfer files, browse directories, start or stop services, and so on. So pretty much you can do everything even if you're 1,000 miles away from that server. And in addition to communicating with servers, Telnet is also used to manage and configure other network devices, such as routers and switches. And you can also use it to check if ports are open or closed on a server. Now, Telnet can be used with operating systems such as Windows and Mac OS, but it's largely used on Linux and Unix systems. So, as I stated before, Telnet is a command line tool. There is no graphical user interface. It's just a very simple text-oriented utility that'll run on a computer. In fact, you don't even have to have a computer to run Telnet. You can just use a simple dumb terminal. And all the commands are sent by using a keyboard. And because it only sends commands and not graphics, Telnet is very fast. Now, Telnet stands for Teletype Network, and it was developed back in 1969. And because it was developed prior to the internet, security was not really an issue. So with Telnet, all the commands are sent in clear text, so there is no encryption. So if you were to use Telnet today to communicate with a server over the internet, someone could easily eavesdrop and grab any sensitive data that you're sending to that server, such as usernames and passwords. So because of the lack of encryption, Telnet is outdated, and it should not be used over the public internet. But some people still use it today, but largely in a local area network and not over the internet. But also they may have to use it if they are working with older equipment that can't support modern protocols such as SSH. Now, SSH or Secure Shell is a better alternative to Telnet. Secure Shell protects the data from being attacked or stolen as it's being transferred over a network. So as I stated before, if you are sending sensitive data like a login or password, a hacker could be listening and steal the data. And that is the reason for Secure Shell. Secure Shell encrypts the data during the transfer and protects it from potential threats. And in addition to encryption, it also provides password and public key authentication. So Secure Shell does everything that Telnet does, but it's a secure protocol. and that's what people use today instead of Telnet. Now, if you want to see some interesting examples of Telnet, you can do this on your computer. And in my example, we're going to do this on a Windows machine. Now, first, you have to enable the Telnet client in the Windows operating systems. So you first go into Programs and Features, and then you would click on Turn Windows Features On or Off, and from here you have to enable the Telnet client feature. And then you would just open up a command prompt as an administrator, and then you can start some Telnet commands. So for example, if you want to see a Star Wars movie in a full ASCII version, at a command prompt, you just type telnet space towel.blinkenlights.nl, and then you press enter. And it'll show you an ASCII version of a Star Wars movie, which is really interesting. Or you can also play a game of chess using Telnet. So you would just type telnetfreechess.org and then the port number, which is 5000. And then you can play a Telnet version of chess. Or if you want to know the weather forecast for a specific city, you can do that also. So you can just type telnetrainmaker.wonderground.com and then press enter, and then just enter a city code, and it'll give you the weather for that city. So thank you everyone for watching this video on Telnet and SSH. Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and thank you for watching.
Right. Next service is cloud-based internet service. So this is again one of the most popular service in these days. Cloud-based, cloud computing. Now most of the things, for most of the activities what we are doing, we are using clouds. Right? So most of the services what we are using coming from the clouds. What is a cloud is it's a kind of software. Sorry, it's a kind of the server available in somewhere in the world. Right? So normally keeping a separate server in your home or in your office is a different task. You need different caution for this one. Different. So suppose you are in your office, you are maintaining a server, web server, maybe mail server, whatever. Right? So you need additional hardware because server computer is not like uh, normal desktop. It need special features. So that is very costly. So you need special softwares, right? You need to create a special environment for your server. You need to create special security for that server, and also you need a special person to handle that one. So rather than to avoid those kind of situation, people now are using these cloud servers. What is the cloud server mean? So like this, give you an example. Suppose you imagine a housing scheme. These days there are different kind of housing scheme at different places. Suppose one housing scheme is having 100 houses, right? So that housing scheme, so those maybe 10 floors, right? 10 floors building and 100 housing scheme. You purchase or you rent one house. So we can compare the housing scheme as the cloud, a server. So from that server, you are purchasing one part, right? So from that part, that housing, the house what you purchase from that housing scheme, you fill with your furnitures, your equipment, your computers, everything, right? But are you going to maintain the house? Are you going to maintain the entire building? Painting, water leaking, electricity, security. Are you going to fix the CCTV camera for entire building? No. That is done by the owner. Are you going to doing any damages to the or any problem with the water lines? No, it is done by the owner. Any electricity problem? It is done by the owner. Security done by the owner. So you are not going to take those responsibility. You just take the responsibility on your house, within the house. Likewise, from a cloud server, you purchase one part. You are looking at only that part, not the entire server. All those maintenance is done by someone. You need to pay you need to pay for the part you have purchased. Then in that part, what you have purchased, you can include your different kind of softwares, the files, everything, what you need. Sometimes without knowing we are doing, right? As an example, right? So if you are using a Gmail, so freely you are getting 15% free space to save your document. Google Drive, many of may have using. That is a cloud computing option, right? So when you are using cloud computing, we are using in different ways. One way is software services. We are using some softwares coming from the cloud services. Example, Google Docs, Google Sheet, Gmail, right? Or Word Online, Excel Online, Outlook Online, right? The second one is as a storage services. This is most popular thing. Example, Google Drive or OneDrive. OneDrive coming from the Microsoft 365, Google Drive coming from the Google Workspace, right? Or Dropbox. Or as collaboration tools. Again, Google Meet coming from Google Workspace, Microsoft Teams coming from the Microsoft 365, or Zoom. It is a separate thing. So we are using all these facilities coming from the cloud computing, especially as storage services. We are using cloud computing, right? Sometimes now these days, even the library systems are not installing in a server which is available physically. Most of the time, people are using this virtual servers available in these cloud computing services because it is much easier rather than maintaining a physical server at your place, right? So what are the benefits? Work from anywhere, right? You can work from anywhere. Suppose your office files, right, is available in your or in your office computer. The weekend days like this, your office is closed, your computer is shut down. Though you want to do something, some work on your files, you cannot do because the computer is switch off. But if your documents are available on the one of these online drive, maybe the Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever, then you can work on those files even from home, right? Real-time collaboration, right? So even many people can work together. If the people are in different places, still people can collaborate each other and do work together, like when you are using Zoom and all, right? Cost effective, definitely. Secure data and easy access. So that is somewhere we need to think. Always we say these online things are secure, but it is not correct always. So you can see some incident in these days in Sri Lanka, right? So some incidents has happened. So you need to be careful about the security when you are doing online things, right? So definitely you need to pay much attention for the security. Then social media networking services. This is one of the most popular among the people, not in Sri Lanka, even in outside other countries, right? So social media networking services, right? So every time people are using, even when you are eating something, so one hand with the phone and the other hand you are using for the eating. I'm not sure, very sure why these people even can't eat without the phone, right? So there are different type of social media networking services enable people to connect, communicate, share information, and build relationships online for personal, professional, and academic growth. So every time personal connection, professional work, or the academic work, people will connect with each other using different kind of social media, like personal social platform like Facebook, right? Uh, those things you create profiles and all, so you connect with the people. So you share your information, you share your photos, everything, right? Good and bad. So you can use social media for good work as well as you can use social media for a bad work to harm the people reputation. You can use to increase the people reputation. Still you can use professional networking like LinkedIn, then academic networking, ResearchGate, and academia.is. So, in like the social media like ResearchGate and all, you cannot share these images and all. You can share just the research information, research article and research information, collaborative work with the research. All those things only you can use. You can share, not the just the images or TikTok videos what you have created. So, what are the benefits? Global connectivity, connect with people around the world instantly, knowledge sharing, access diverse information and expertise, career growth, discover opportunities, build professional networks and advance your career, community building, join communities, collaborate and build meaningful relationships, right? Some of the benefits. The risk, many, privacy concerns, personal data can be shared or misused without consent. So it sometimes happen, right? So people will see our personal data and use for some other unnecessary work, right? My personal images are using for some other bad incidences. Misinformation, false or misleading information can spread quickly. It is happening sometimes, right? So because of this social media, spreading the things will happen rapidly, whether it is true or false, right? Whether it is true or false, it's going all around the world instantly. Cyber threats, definitely there. When you are using internet, always a cyber threat is there. Risk of scams, phishing, malware, and online harassment. Time waste. This is happening most of the time. Now people are addicted to this. When they start in the morning with the social media, they're going to sleep with the social media. Entire day, they are living with the social media. Some people cannot can live with food or water, but cannot live with the internet. Right? Excessive use can reduce productivity and time waste. Unnecessarily, they waste their time to spend more time, hours and hours, on social media. Right. So next one is internet services for academic and research purposes. This is basically uh, directly relevant to the libraries, right? The internet provides a wide range of services that support learning, teaching, and research. This helps students, teachers, and researchers access quality information, collaborate globally, and stay updated with the latest development in their fields. So this is directly connected with the library. So library provide many online library services like online OPAC and all those things, right? Uh, like online catalog, uh, remote borrowing, remote renewal, all those online facilities are provided by the libraries for their patrons. Electronic databases. Many libraries subscribing very expensive databases to provide the services for their research community, students, and the academics. Because so individual people cannot bear the cost of those databases. Therefore, libraries is spending lot of money to purchase these things. Right. So it's a very great help for the researchers, students, and the academics. Because latest research information are available on those databases. Right? They need to conduct their research, this latest research information. Digital repositories, institutions are creating their own digital repositories to upload, so to store their own documents. Like as example, University of Murtu has created an digital repository to store their own postgraduate thesis and the research articles published by the academic staff members. Right? So those digital repositories are really helpful for the students, again, researchers and academic staff members to find out the some relevant information in their fields. Ebook and e-journals, again, individual ebooks and individual e-journals are subscribing, purchasing by the libraries to help to enhance the knowledge of the students and the researchers. So other than that purchasing part, there are some open access resources which can use freely. Ebooks as well as journals. There are open access. That means people can use them freely without paying anything. So those kind of things are again provided services by the libraries, right? Research recovery discovery tools, different kind of tools are using at the library to help to the users. Example, some reference management tools like Mendeley and Zotero, or some grammar correcting tools like Grammarly, or any other statistic analysis tools like SPSS, right? So different kind of tools are provided by the library. And these are some of the indexing services: Google Scholar, Schemago, Scopus, Web of Science, provided by the through the internet by the and libraries. So many services are provided by the libraries through internet for their students, researchers, and academics to enhance the research culture of their particular institutions. Again, this is one of the most popular area, e-commerce and online transaction services. Many of us these days using online shopping. We are doing, many of us doing online shopping through internet. There are some organization which sell some products and we are purchasing them through online. E-commerce and online transaction service allow individuals and business to buy, sell, and transfer money or information over the internet securely and conveniently. Right? online shopping, there are many organizations, many things are happening at the very famous sites are there. So many of us going to log into those sites and purchasing different kind of items from online. So these are some of the famous sites: Amazon, AliExpress, Daraz, Temu, right? So online shopping, there are many, there are many, right? So when we are purchasing those things, so we need to pay. So those payment again doing through the internet, online banking services. Right? Many of the banking in Sri Lanka today, not many, every and each, they are providing their online banking services. Without these online banking services, now the banks cannot survive because especially after again 2020 with the pandemic situation, before that many people were used to doing their banking works by going to the banks, right? So even pay some bills like electricity, water bill, credit card bill, telephone bill. So every month we are going to the banks and waiting in the queue and doing our banks. But with the pandemic situation, the entire environment was changed because people had to stay home, but they had to pay the bills as well. Therefore, were forced to implement different system and to develop their online system to cater for their customers. Even those organizations like CEB, Water Board, and other telecom, they were forced to create new app to pay the bills. If you remember, before COVID pandemic, there were no such online system for those supermarkets like Keels and Cargills, right? But with the implementation of this COVID situation, COVID restriction, so they were rapidly introduced their online services to purchase food items and other things through online, right? Earlier it was not there. So now many people will not go to the banks and order to pay their bills. Even myself are not going for anything to pay these bills and all. Everything I'm doing through these online services. Sometimes some banks now not giving even when you are open a account. So if you are opening a saving account, they are giving a small book called as the passbook. Some banks now have stopped giving passbook. They always promote to doing the everything through internet. They are sending monthly transaction as an email to your email account, right? So they are promoting every time now banks are promoting online. It has, sorry. Then digital payment system. Again, now different kind of digital payment systems are there to pay different kind of payments, our bills and all. So government is also promoting this one. So Google Pay is one of the more popular one. Government is promoting the GovPay, Paytm, Jenny. So these are some of the example, right? So you can pay different type of your payments through this. Even you can pay, suppose the fines from the police, right? So through the GovPay. Benefits, it is very convenient. Shop, bank, and pay anytime, anywhere, right? So time saving, saves time and effort. Wide selection, access to vast range of products and services, cost effective, better deals, offers, and discounts available, financial control, easy tracking of expenses and transactions. So there are many risks as well as you are doing everything online. fraud and scams, risks of online fraud, phishing, and so this happens, right? So false account. Sometimes very recently it was informed us. So there were some websites very similar to the banks, some particular banks. So if you are not checking carefully, so you are logging to the, you are giving your username and password for a wrong site, wrong website. So they will steal your, they will steal your username and password. Then they will log into the correct bank using your own using username and password and steal your money from your account. That can happen. Therefore, when you are using online, especially online transaction, you have to be very careful and you have to be very secure. You have to check everything, whether these URLs are very small changes in these false websites, right? One word, one letter, one comma, something. So you have to be very careful with the email, with the URL and all when you are doing transaction. You have to 100% sure you have logged into the correct site. Secure threats, hacking, data breaches, and unauthorized access can happen. If your password is very weak, hackers will be able to hack your account and do anything they want. Privacy concern, personal information may be misused or shared, can happen. Non-delivery or returns, products may not be delivered or returned. Process may be difficult. So suppose when you are ordering something online, the product is, though you have paid the money, still it was not delivered, or sometimes delivered product has some damages. Then changing those things very difficult. Right? So if he's purchased some uh, clothes or something from a shop, so if there is a damage or it is not fit to us, so we are going to do the we go to shop back and do the changes. But it is very difficult with this online system. Technical issues, payment failures, network issues, and system downtime. So it can happen. Sometimes those payment system will not work because of the service maintenance or whatever, right? Payment of failures. Payment not has gone. So, but still, this is one of the most very popular area in these days. Next one is next service is artificial intelligence powered internet services. So now AI is using everywhere. AI is using everywhere for every and each task. Even I have created this now these slides using AI tools, right? So you can use AI tools for many purposes now. So now many search engines using AI, including Google, they have AI part in their search engine with their search engine. Some generative AI tools are there. So you can use like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Canva AI. So different type of different task. Many people are using, even I can see when I give that daily question, right? Many people use AI and provide the answer for me. Right? Many people provide the answer through the AI. When I read, I realize, okay, this is not the genuine idea from the student. Clearly, I can identify. Some people write very long answers. Even that is not necessary because AI is giving. Everything what give by the AI is copying and paste and provide the answers for me. I can, uh, okay, you can do that. But remember, when you are giving the question paper at the exam, you cannot do. I'm 100% sure if I give the same question You people will not answer have provided right now because at the exam you are not allowed to use digital devices. Whether you like or not, you have to write it logically with your memory, your own memory. If nothing is there, how you are going to write? Your answers, many people is using AI. I know that. And remember, when I feel that you have written by using the AI, I'm not going to give you the full marks as well. I will reduce the marks. Even you are in the assignment, I'm not going to give you the marks because I don't need the AI answers. I don't need. Remember that as well. So academic use of AI. So you can use AI. I'm not telling that using AI is a bad thing or should be banned with the students. The way the students are using is the bad. So if you write something and make the AI for a correct your grammar and all, correct your spelling, that is quite okay. But that is not what you are doing. When the teacher is asking a question, they will provide the question to the AI and asking the AI tool to write the answer. That is what you all are doing. So AI can use as academic purposes, literature review and summarizing, data analysis and visualization, writing and editing part, language learning. So always it should be responsible user of AI in education and research. You cannot rely 100% on AI tools. Remember, AI makes many mistakes. Everything given by the AI is not true, not correct. Right? Therefore, don't rely on AI every time, especially information. You can create images and all, no problem. But when you are going to take some information as text, you have to be very careful. You have to check whether the given information is correct or not by using the credible resources. Even the AI tools, it says AI can make mistakes. Even ChatGPT, look at the bottom. Even Gemini, look at the bottom. They says that AI can make mistakes. So you have to make sure that the information given is correct. Multimedia and streaming services. So many people are using this, right? So for entertaining, yeah, so again for some education purposes. So multimedia streaming services like YouTube, Netflix, so different things, right? Instant access to entertainment and educational content, support live broadcasting and webinars, enable content creation and sharing, right? So many people are using this one. Online education and learning services. So many e-learning platforms are there today. So like today, so you may have even you need to upload your assignment and all, I think, to the Moodle system. So learning management system. Most of the educational institutions are using different type of learning management system like Moodle, and also some virtual classrooms are there. So many people with this present situation using online education and learning services in their academic activities. final one, big data and analytics service, like the organization which is having millions of transaction or millions of information. They need to, they are using some specific softwares to analyze their data, to predict the behaviors of the users and all, right? So to decide the future, all those things are using some particular big data analysis uh, softwares, right? So like Google BigQuery, they are softwares which do millions of, they collect millions of data and do the analysis part. Right. So that's it. This part. Right. Yes. So this is about internet services. So before I start the next part, anything you want to ask? Any question or something? Okay. If not, I will start the next part. So this is the next part we need to start. So I will take a 5 minute break and then start after break. Okay. Next part is digital information and digital resources, right? Digital information and digital resources. So what is what is digital information? What do you mean by the digital information? Digital information is always stored, distributed, and displayed by computers or other digital tools. So always to use digital devices, you need digital devices to store, distribute, or display the digital information, right? Without these digital devices, you cannot use digital information. Unlike analog data, right? So digital information can be copied, edited, and distributed without any change in quality, right? So you can change, you can edit this digital information without changing the quality. Suppose sometimes when we take a photocopy of a book, that photocopy is not very clear, maybe, right? So we cannot take a very clear, suppose very huge book with many pages. So taking a photocopy of those huge books is much difficult, isn't it? With the spine, so it won't be able to take very clear picture. Due to these benefits, digital information has become a most popular way of storing and reading modern data. Right, so digital information is one of the most popular area these days due to various type of benefits. Right? Then digital resources, that is digital information. This is digital resources. Digital resources can be divided into two: born digital resources and digitized resources. What is born digital resources? Resources that are started digital at birth are called digital resources. Digital resources, when they start as digital resources in their birth, that is called born digital resource. Like suppose this presentation what I have made here, right? So this presentation, I didn't write these things in a paper and take a photo of that and convert it into digital PowerPoint. No, my PowerPoint presentation I created in my laptop and I'm displaying it for you. So it created on a digital environment in my computer, born digital resource. These photographs, yes, I created using my computer, born digital resources. Photos you taken by using your phone or camera, born digital resources. A Word document which you have typed in your computer, born digital resource, right? A video you recorded in your phone, born digital. A sound recording you done with your phone, born digital. All those things we can explain as the born digital resources. Then what is digitized resources? Digital resources are available when analog resources in different formats are converted to. Now these things, analog information, analog resources are converted to using a process called digitization into the digital form. Like suppose books or papers available in the library, right? So we are doing digitization process and then converting those hard copies into digital form. Then it was converted from analog to digital. That kind of resources we called as the digitized resources. So digital resources can be divided into two: born digital resources and digitized resources. So let's see very quickly What are the advantages of digital resources? Digital resources provide 24/7 access services as access is available anytime, everywhere, and anytime, anywhere. Easy to use. It allows for various types of search facilities, so the time taken for searching is less. Fast and quick access to the desired information. Digital resources are flexible. People can pause, fast forward to rewind the watch, reflecting there. So suppose a video, so we can stop at any point what we need. So we can rewind if you want to watch again, or sometimes if these parts are not very relevant, so we can fast forward. We can quickly we can go to the point where we need to watch, right? Suppose digital resources for multimedia applications, video, animation, sound, graphics, etc. In case of network connection, multi-access is available, right? So different formats are there. Even my presentation, I use text, I use images, I use videos, everything. But if you are using a book, right? So you will have only text. You cannot, you have only text and you can have the images, but not multimedia, audio or video part. Normally it is coming as a separate thing, as a or as a CD or something. But in this kind of digital resources, right? So even my presentation, I have included everything. In a network situation, several access points can be provided for the use of digital resources and can be used by several people. So suppose institutional repository or database, right? Ebooks collection. So many one resource can be accessed by several people at the same time. But in a book available in the shelf, if it is only one book, only one person can use at a time. Digital resources are not like that. Right? So even deterioration, right? Damages are very less. Though people are using the same book, same e-copy, the damages are very less. But when hard copy of a book using by several people, when the time goes, books become very books has many damages. Less space required for storage, definitely. So when the we are having books, we know as the library people, we need more spaces for a shelf and the books. But if you have ebooks or something like that, so you need a place to keep your computer, the server. That's all. If you are using online services, cloud computing as the server, even that space is not required. For a place for to keep your computer is not required because you are using cloud services. Sharing of resources is easier as these are in digital form. So very easily you can share the information. You can share the resources, even the video, the audio, right? So ebooks, so you can send as email or something. Very easy. Advantages. Then disadvantages. So there are many disadvantages as well. Requires high installation costs. So definitely you need to purchase these online databases, different kind of softwares. Setting up a digital system, purchasing software, hardware, and maintaining license can be expensive for the organization. Definitely. Right. So though we are saying these are very advantageous and very flexible, but you need to pay lot of money. You will need to invest lot of money to purchase these things. Access to digital resources requires proper sorry, ICT infrastructure. Yeah. So as the definition says, to use the digital resources, you need the digital devices. Without digital devices, there is no point of having digital resources. If you are providing resources in your library, if you are providing resources as digital resources, so definitely you need to provide the facility for the users, lot of computers and other equipments. If those things are not there, there's no point of providing the digital resources, right? Reliable access depends on availability of computers, devices, networks, servers, and other ICT facility. Always these things are needed. Again, to purchase these things, you need money. High internet speed is required to access digital resources. Definitely. So if you have not provided the high speed of internet in your library, within your library, so again, this is a problem. If you are providing digital resources, you need to provide the high speed of internet for the users. Slow or unstable internet connection can lead to delays, interruption, and limited access to online resources. More care should be taken about the copyright. Respecting copyright laws is essential to avoid legal issues related to the unauthorized use of sharing and digital. Remember, so though we have purchased some digital resources from some publishers, we cannot share as we need. So we cannot earn money by selling those things to people, right? So there are some restrictions with copyright. You have to be very careful about these things, right? So as librarian, you cannot say, I didn't know this. You should aware how we can distribute these things. Though we have purchased these things, right? So distribution has some restriction. You have to be very careful. Resource use requires training. Users need adequate training and skills to effectively search, evaluate, and use digital. Even not only the user, even the staff members of the library need the training how to use these resources. Otherwise, people will not use them. Then the invested money is a waste. Difficult reading through digital devices. So what we are telling, right? So you can have many health problem when you are using these digital resources heavily. If you are always using the computer on a sitting on a table, sitting on a chair, so definitely you are going to have some problem in the eyes or in your uh, back pain, everything. You will have health issues. Prolonged screen time can cause eye strain, fatigue, and may reduce compensation for some users. Definitely, right? Security issues arise. If you are using internet, you have a risk. No obvious, right? Risk of data breaches, hacking, malware, and privacy threats can compromise personal and organization information, right? Proper conservation. Then the most critical problem, another critical problem of conservation. Though you are using digital resources, the conservation part is very difficult because with the time change, with the technology change, this preservation of digital resources become more difficult. As an example, 10 years back or 20 years back, the data was saved in a diskette or CDs. Right? As there is no pen drives or no cloud is there, so most of us saved our data on the diskettes or the CDs. Now, with the development of modern technology, these modern day computers, desktop computers or laptop computers, can you see any space for insert the diskettes? Diskette drive, those things are not available in modern computers. Even the CD drive is not available because now the diskettes and the CDs are outdated. Those things are outdated. But remember, if still our data is available on the CDs and diskettes, can we use them? No way, because there is no place to insert the diskettes. Therefore, this preserving, conservation of preserving this digital resources, digital formats, it's very difficult. Now, still, Puskala books, Puskala Poth, right? So those things, 2500 years old, still we can read. Sigiri Kultugi, which was available in the wall at Sigiriya, still we can read. So, what are those, what we call those, Sellipi, still we can read after 2500 years later. But when compared to those analog resources, these digital resources, even after not 2500 to even after 5 years or 10 years back, we cannot read because with the development of the technology, right? So this conservation is a problem. So you need to have very clear policies how to conserve these digital resources. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. So there are different type of formats of for these digital resources depending on the file type, right? So I'm not going to in depth, right? So you need to different programs, different softwares to open these uh, files. As example, so your browser opens files with the HTML file, but those your browser cannot open Word file, doc file, right? So as there are different formats for the digital resources, digital files, so you need different the programs to open those different files. Text, there are text formats, txt, rt. So you can see with some, when you are saving a Word document, something abc dot doc. That doc is the file type. Doc mean document type, right? So graphic formats, BMP, TIFF, JPEG. Audio formats, MP2, MP3, MP4, WAV files. Video formats, AVI, MPEG-1, MPEG-2. So many. There are many others, right? So different formats serve different purposes. Choosing the right formats ensures the compatibility, accessibility, and the best user experience. So let's see type of different digital resources. Type of different digital resources, right? So ebooks, many of us knows right now, many print books coming as ebooks as well. So some books not coming as the print books. They are having only e-version. Right? Many reputed publishers like Taylor and Francis, Wiley, Springer, uh, what else? IEEE Emerald, all those people producing ebooks, right? So sometimes both print version and sometimes both print and online, sometimes only e-version. Anyhow, the ebooks are very popular in these days among the users, right? Because it can be read from any kind of digital devices, right? So even you are through your mobile phone, you can read it. Many people are using this one because of these various advantages. So you can share it very quickly, right? So there are many advantages. Ebooks are books in electronic form. They can be used through an internet browser, computer, or other electronic device. It can be downloaded to computers, laptops, and tablets. Some books publishers or some organization provide ebook for different costs. But also there are many websites that provide free ebooks such as Project Cut. So sometimes most of the time you need to pay for this ebook to get the to read it them, but there are some organizations, some websites provide freely these ebooks, some like ebooks such as Project Gutenberg, Bookboon, many books, Bookspots, Google Books. So they are providing free ebooks, right? So you don't need to pay. Then e-journals, right? E-journals like ebooks, e-research journals are also available in electronic form. These e-periodicals are published and distributed nationally and internationally through electronic networks. These are mostly used for research purposes. Journals are produced for research activities. Research information are available in journals, right? E-journals provide timely access to the latest research, articles, and studies across a wide range of disciplines. They are searchable, easy to access, and often offer full text articles, making research more efficient and convenient. So it can be listed out many e-journals, right? So I have put some two very popular. Then magazines, it's again kind of periodicals, right? So it differ from the journals. It deals with educational, cultural, political, and some social issues. It has more attractive and quality images, graphs, and advertisement than research journals. Uh, E-magazines are digital publication designed to read on electronic devices. They feature high-quality images, graphs, videos, and interactive elements. Covers a wide range of topics including education, culture, politics, lifestyle, and current events. More visually appealing and engaging than traditional research journals. Right? So it is again very popular among the people, these magazines. Food databases, again, it's a collection of research articles. Different kind of databases are available, right? So very famous, and these are very expensive, you know. Even very recently, we tried to purchase this, Science Direct database and some other database called IEEE. So each database, Science Direct costs $80,000, right? 80,000 US dollars, and IEEE was around 55,000 US dollars. Now calculate $80,000 into 340 or something 330. How many rupees? Almost more than 20 million, right? This is only for 1 year. Next year we have to pay again. So it was failed because university did not agree to pay that money. So it is like that. Those things are very, very, very expensive, right? So because it's a very now it's a critical problem right now. So we need research information, but with the cost of these things, it is very difficult to purchase these things. So how we can provide the services for the users? To enhance the research culture, we need research papers, but with the price, we cannot provide those resources. So what is the answer? So there's a very critical situation at the library, how to provide the required services to the users. Right? With this uh, dollar fluctuation, so it is now more critical. It is more critical now. E-thesis and e-dissertations, right? So the E-theses and e-dissertations are digital collection of research documents, including PhD, MPhil, and other master's theses. Right? So institutions are creating their own institutional repositories, digital libraries for these e-theses and e-dissertations. These resources provide access to the scholarly research produced by the students and researchers from around the world. They can be used for the further research, literature reviews, and academic exploration. Why they matter? They support original research and contribute to advancement of knowledge across diverse disciplines. Researchers can use them to explore in-depth studies and the latest findings of their work. Right, so there are free things, free thesis collections like open access thesis and dissertation. You can type in the internet and you can see those things. Network, digital library, and thesis and dissertations. Right, so many researchers, students, academic staffs using these kind of collections. E-newspapers. So many newspaper now people are not reading printed newspapers. Do you? Right? So even people don't have newspapers to wrap up the things, right? Battotannat patrakola නෑ දැන් අද. Right? So because people are reading newspapers on which are available online. Many people read online newspapers, not printed things. Therefore, these newspaper agencies have problems, right? Printed things is not having a market like previously. Even those pages, very limited pages are there. Even few years back, so you know that there is a large number of pages were available. The paper called Observer, because with the advertisement and all, it has large number of papers, right? But right now you can see they have reduced number of papers because of the high cost as well as the low demand. Then let's see some selection of digital resources for libraries, right? Selection of digital resources for libraries. So as a librarians, we need that not only the users are expecting not only the printed materials from the library, right? Users are not expecting only the digital materials, only the printed material from the library. Now, these modern users, right? So as they have used the heavily the modern technology, they are expecting different kind of e-resources from the library as well. If you are keeping only the printed material at the library saying, so no, we are not providing the digital resources, so people will reluct to come to the library. People will not come to the library. Right? So to increase coming of the students to the library, coming of the users to the library, we have to provide these e-facilities as well. Then there's a problem when we selecting digital resources for the libraries. We have to consider several factors. Right? We have to consider several factors. What kind of resources we can provide at the library, right? So what kind of resources we are going to purchase for the library, right? In today's libraries, Digital resources play a vital role in developing strong and modern collections. They provide users with easy, fast, and convenient access to a wide range of information from anywhere at any time. Electronic resources are materials that are created in digital format and require access through computers, tablets, or mobile devices. They can be reached remotely via internet or used within the library. Common types of digital resources found in library. So different type of resources can be provided at the library, right? Different kind of resources can be provided at the library. E-journals, right? So journals are the things which is providing the research information. Different kind of e-journals are providing, right? So you can provide different kind of e-journals to your users. Digital versions of scholarly journals covering a wide range of subjects. E-books, right? Electronic books that can be read online or download for offline use, right? Full text databases that are provided complete text of articles, reports, and other documents. Indexing and abstracting databases, tools that help users to find information by indexing and summarizing key content from various sources. Reference databases, right? Databases such as biographic dictionaries, those things. Numerical and statistics, images, audio. So I will show you something, some of those things, right? So let's see. I will go to the University of Moratuwa website, right? So we are providing some of the resources, right? So some of these things, so earlier we purchased many things, but with the time, so it was difficult. So the university is not giving the money to purchase these things, but still we are providing. So these are some of the databases which we had. At the moment, we don't have any, right? So we had these databases some time back, but these databases are not available right now. So if you go to this one, right, this is the IEEE database. So you cannot download from anything from here because we have not subscribed right now. Therefore, you need to pay. Right? So, but instead of that, as many people need information, we have provided some journals, right? So, uh, free journals. We have linked some free journals in our websites, right? So these are under different subject areas, and we have put them with the alphabetical order as well. Uh, Alphabetical order. Let's see, anything is working. Take this one. Okay, this is something from the Wiley, right? So it says open access. That means you can download these articles, right? Very directly you can download these articles. Though, so this is a online journal, right? This is an online journal. So there are many, as I showed you, right? So under different areas, and we have provided some access to e-journals. sorry, ebooks. So from these sites, you can get the ebooks, right? Suppose this one, Springer, famous publisher, right? These are some books. You can select the subject areas, right? If you go to another one, this is from the Taylor and Francis. These are the books. You can download these books, right? Suppose this one. If you click this download, it will download. Right. So now the book is downloaded. So this is the book. It has 669 pages. So complete books has been downloaded. Right? Very easily you can do it. Then we have our digital library, institutional repository. This is our institutional repository of University of Mortua. Okay, it is having some problem, it seems. Okay. Right, so it has some research publications, thesis and dissertations, and some ebooks, free ebooks, right? If you go to the thesis and dissertation, so we have put as the faculties. Sorry, department wise, right? Department wise. So if you go to this one, so it shows different degrees coming under this uh, architecture department. These are the some degrees, right? Let's see any of these things, whether we can open these things. Says full thesis. Let's see whether we can open this one. Yes, it shows. Okay, so we have given the full access for this particular thesis. So if you click here, okay, the full thesis you can download it, right? So that is ebooks. Sorry, that is thesis. So many resources we have provided, right? So likewise, so when we are providing these resources, we need to decide some factors. We need to decide some factors when going to, especially when you are going to purchase these things. Right? Because when you are purchasing, you are investing some money. You have to justify your higher authority. This investing is much useful. Otherwise, you are investing a lot of money. If the people are not using, it creates problem at the end. Your higher authority will ask, okay, you have invested this much of money to purchase these journals, ebooks and all, but the usage is this much low. What is the reason? So you may not able to justify. That might be a problem. Right? selection criteria of digital resources for libraries. Right? Selection criteria of digital resources for libraries. So you need to think these factors before you introduce digital resources for your libraries. The audience. The resource should meet the needs of the library's patrons, supporting their academic, professional, and personal goals. The content. The content must be accurate, relevant, current, and comprehensive, and appropriate for the intended audience. Then the technical requirements. The resource should be compatible with the library systems and uh, accessible to users with ease. Vendor support. The vendor should provide reliable customer support training and regular updates. Then the copyright and fair use, right? The resource must comply with the copyright laws and allow fair use under the applicable guidelines. Preservation capability. The resource should ensure long-term access and have a clear preservation and archiving policy. Licensing. The licensing terms should be clear, fair, flexible, and favorable to the library. Cost. The cost should be reasonable, sustainable, and provide good value for money. So all these factors should be considered. So we are going to discuss each these things by one. Right? So audience, you should identify the audience who we are going to give these facilities, whether these people need this. Then the content, whether the content of these resources is valuable for our culture, valuable is needed for the this institution. Technical requirements. What are the technical requirements you need to use these things? Are the available the resources are enough, or we need to purchase new things? Vendor support. How the vendor is providing support to continue these resources. Whether they are providing user training and all. Copyright and fair. What is the copyright with these the subscribed databases and all? Right? So we have to aware properly. Preservation. How to preserve these things. Licensing. What are the licensing? What is the contract with them? What are the rules and regulations? And the cost finally. Whether the invested money is provide a good value what we are purchasing. Okay, so we need to discuss many. So I'm not going to further. So I'm going to stop here for today. So now I'm going to give you the today's question, right? I'm going to give you the today's question. Okay, this is the question, right? So I will put the email in the chat. So you can use that one. So this is the question for today. So please start answering for this question, and you need to complete answer should be emailed to this email. Okay, you can start write the answers now. Okay, I'm going to stop here. So we will meet next week for the last session, and I will continue from where we stopped here. Thank you very much. So hope you have sent the email already. So let's meet next week for the last session. Thank you.